Hey guys, James here of TCGU University, coming back at you with another deck profile from our Campus Championship Series. This week we did the 7-hand size brawl, and I'm going to be showing you Michael's Lord Raptor deck. So let's get into it. Okay guys, Lord Raptor is a 7/19 with air, death, and fire. He has 3 abilities, 1 being a static and 2 responses. The static being your cards with flash gain breaker 2, so all of his flash attacks will have breaker 2 on them as well, which is very strong defensively. And then his first response is, once per turn, after a flash attack is played, your opponent destroys 1 committed foundation. Note that this says after a flash attack, so if you're in a mirror match, you also get to do it on your opponent's turn, which I think is also pretty cool. And then R, remove 2 cards from your discard pile after you play an attack. It gets +2 speed or +2 damage. Note that says after you play an attack, not just a flash. There's a couple of non-flash attacks in this deck that do cool things that he also gets to just give 2 damage or 2 speed to just by removing, which is really, really good. So let's get into the deck. Starting off, we got 3 Bang. Bang is a super powerful card that lets us seal our opponent's character or just any other card that we don't want to have to deal with, whether it be like a man, I can't think of anything, but it lets us seal anything we want on our opponent's staging area, whether it be an asset, their character, a foundation we don't have to deal with, something like Swordfish, and stuff like that. Just super strong cards we don't want to have to like that we just don't want stopping us. I guess Swordfish doesn't stop us. We're a flash deck, but you get the idea. Onto assets, we're playing 2 Acheron, and Nirvana. It's a unique weapon, 2/5/2 mid block. R, commit after your opponent plays a keyword ability, cancel its effects. It's super strong, cancels multiple breaker, reversal, stun, just cancels anything we don't want to have our opponent put us into a bad situation for. Multiple, stuff like that. Super strong, and once per turn it lets us ready 1 foundation that has not been ready this combat phase. Though we play a bunch of flash, we do play other attacks, and it also works on defense, so that's pretty good. Onto the attacks. Our first attack we're going to show you is his ultra rare and his best attack for his support, which is Hurricane of Death. It's a 6/3 flash desperation 5 weapon with a 0 mid block, meaning it's a 0 mid block with breaker 2 because of Lord Raptor. It's a 6 low for 6. R, after you play this attack, destroy 1 of your opponent's committed foundations. This attack gets a damage bonus equal to that foundation's printed difficulty. So you blow up cool things that you don't want to deal with as well to get speed or damage on this. Which is just nuts. So like it's a 6/6 already, and you blow up like regularly. Somebody builds like a 2 on their turn 1. You blow that up, it makes this an 8. And then you blow something else up with Lord Raptor if you get the ability to, and it makes it a 10 damage attack. Or you can give it speed and make it an 8 low for 8, which is just crazy, especially on a flash. Next, we're going to talk about one of his non-flash attacks we're playing in the deck. 4 Hyper Bomb. It's a 3 low for 5 with a 2 high block. The purpose of this deck was to just debuild our opponent. So that one destroys, Lord Raptor destroys. Hyper Bomb says if we're at less vitality, we can commit a card, one of our own foundations, to blow something up that is committed due to its stun ability, the Hyper Bomb stun ability. Hyper Bomb having a stun too, so it's really strong. And then like if our opponent chooses not to block it, we draw a card, so we can just remove 2 things, make this a 5 for 5. And then if they do block it, they had to really commit for it. And then if they don't, we just go ahead and draw another card, which is really cool. Next, we're playing a lot of low attacks, so our other non-flash attack is Explosive Charge. Explosive Charge is a 4/3, 4 mid for 4 with 3 mid block. It's Charge Fury range. No cool combos you can do with this one, but its ability is Enhance. If the next attack you play is a low attack, destroy 1 of your opponent's foundations. Just keeping along with that foundation destruction, that just super strong, especially with all the lows we play. Everything's a low outside this and our last attack I'll show you. Then our second to last attack is Stinging Skull. It's a 4 low for 4, 2 low block, 4 diff, 3 control, kick flash weapon, so it has breaker 2 as well with Lord Raptor. R, after this attack is blocked, your opponent commits a foundation, and then R, after this attack deals damage, your opponent loses 2 vitality, meaning at any point if this deals, it is a 6 damage basically. The cool thing about this thing is you can remove 2 with Lord Raptor to give it 2 speed, making it a 6 for 4, and if they don't block, it's a 6 for 6, so that's pretty good. And then the last stack we're playing, the only non-low outside the other one, is Lake Shredder. Lake Shredder is a 3/4, 2 high block, 3 diff, 3 control, kick flash weapon, breaker 2 with Lord Raptor. Static after this card is removed from the game, ready 1 foundation. We remove with Lord Raptor, we get to ready a foundation, keeps our foundation count up, lets us do more cool combos. And then R, after you play this attack, your opponent commits 1 foundation for every leg shredder in your card pool. So you play it, you get to stun 1. You play a second one, you get to stun 1, 2. If you have 3 in hand, 1, 2, 3. If you somehow have 4 in hand, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, it's just really, really good as well, especially with Lord Raptor's ability, because you play it, stun 1, respond with Lord Raptor, destroy it. Just a cool, it's basically play 1 from hand, destroy 1. It's really good. On to foundations. We're playing 4 Hunt for Spiders. This is a card that says we can play it into our card pool before an attack, and then when we play the attack, respond after an attack is played. You bring it down after you play an attack. You bring it down to your staging area face down and flip something in your opponent's staging area face down. So you just selectively get rid of something you don't like. And then the other ability is R. After your death or life attack deals damage, gain 2 vitality, or your opponent loses 2 vitality. That's also really strong because everything has death in our deck. So if at any point our attack deals damage, we can gain life to try and extend our 19 life, or make our opponent burn to make it easier for us to kill them. We remove a lot of things, so this card's very good. Guardian's Final Duty. We mainly play this for the first ability, which is E, remove, discard this attack. Only playable if you have more cards in your remove from game pile than your opponent. If anybody remembers the old format with Pull Demogogen, it's similar to this one, except instead of adding it back to hand, you discard it, which is really, really strong. The only problem with the card is you have to have more remove cards. Luckily for us, Lord Raptor removes for all of his attacks when he plays them, so that's really cool. So getting to just like off an attack we just don't have to deal with is super strong. Next, we're talking about, in my opinion, Lord Raptor's strongest foundation, Healed by a Shaman. It's a 2/5, 2 high block. Death, form, flip. If you have no cards in hand, draw 1 card and gain 2 vitality. Playable while committed. And then R, commit, discard your hand. After an attack is played, add 1 flash attack from your discard pile to your hand. This is very strong because sometimes you don't draw enough attacks, and this just says get cool attacks. It's just super, super good. There's a lot of cool combos you can do with it. It's like you can play your attack, tap this, pick up a new attack, remove Leg Shredder and something else, ready this, still have it, and then play your other attack you added, commit it, remove another Leg Shredder, and just keep doing this just to get 1 attack, and basically fill your hand with a bunch of attacks. It's pretty good. Then onto his other foundation. Feels good to be bad. We mainly play this for the E, remove 1 flash attack. This attack gets -2 speed, playable while committed. Just lets us block things, but it also has the ability to E opponent's turn, flip, ready 1. Death Foundation has not been ready this combat phase, meaning if we just need to block this last 1 thing and we've already done the bottom one, we can just flip, ready another card, and have good have enough foundation to block things. We have 2 Showtime. Showtime is good for both of its abilities. It's a unique 2/4 of no block. R, once per turn, remove 1 flash attack from your discard pile. After your opponent plays a non-keyword ability on an attack, cancel its effects. And then R, once per turn, after you play an attack, it gets +3 damage. If your opponent is at deadlock, it gets +3 speed. The 3 damage just means we get to tack onto something we know is going to deal. Like if we made the not that one. If we made our Hurricanes of Death 8 for 8, we can make it an 8 for 11. Because on turn 2, if you play that, it's just super, super strong. There's 8 for 11 coming at you, and there's not a lot that people can do, especially on a flash. And then the R once per turn to cancel a non-keyword ability is also super strong. To Keiko's Aid, it's an R flip. After you block an attack, your opponent's next attack this turn gets +2 difficulty. It's like a pseudo Breaker 2 on top of the Breaker 2 we already have. So it just means that we give Breaker 4 to something after we block, which is super nuts. As well as it gives Breaker 2 pseudoli to all of our attacks that we don't have Breaker 2 on. Just super good. Most of our attacks share both of our symbols being our own support. So Friends and Rivals is very good. R, commit after you play an attack that shares at least 2 symbols with your character. Your opponent commits 2 foundations. This also leads into Lord Raptor's ability to destroy something, Hurricane Death to make sure we do get to blow something up. It's just all around really strong with the character and the way it plays. We're playing 3 Guardian of the Spear Sword. This lets us pick up our where'd it go? Our Acheron and Nirvana. It's a 2 mid block, but it also says we pick it up and we get to play it, as well as just being able to give neg speed to make sure we do get to block something and get to breaker somebody. Next, we're playing 3 Thrilled to Eat You. First form, commit. Your opponent commits 1 foundation. Your next flash attack or weapon attack gets this turn gets +2 speed. Makes it super strong. Makes it to where you give damage with Lord Raptor and give 2/2 to something. It's a really good spam with a 2 mid block. You can only play one of its abilities, so having multiple on board isn't great. But I like the idea of playing 3 in a deck regardless, just because you want to see it. 3 Cage Fighter. After your opponent makes a check, that check gets minus to play a non-foundation card. That check gets -1, and it doesn't end their combat phase. Super strong. Sometimes just -1 to a check just means that they don't pass and they die. Just 1. 2 Genkai's Genkai's training. E discard momentum. Ready this card. Play while committed, and then E commit. If you attempt to block this attack with a card that shares at least 2 resource numbers with your character, being any of his support, you make the block modifier 0. So that's really neat. You make any of your block modifiers 0. That's a cool 2 high block you have on that Lakeshore. It's a 0 high, and having everything being 0s with Breaker 2 is just nuts. We got 3 Wishing Ward. We are a small boy. We don't want to get hit hard. So getting rid of our opponent's momentum so we don't get Dark Cherry Toad or we don't get Missile Launcher and stuff is super needed. 3 Most Trusted Assassin. Remember, like I said, -1 is the difference between killing somebody. This -1 to their check is the difference between killing somebody or even, like in the terms of this, living. Making sure your opponent can't pass a check just by 1, and especially on their kill turn, means that they're not going to kill you, meaning you get the chance to kill them. And then the last card we're playing is 3 Syndicate Target. Syndicate Target is for that Dark Cherry Toe, Missile Launcher, Nutcracker, all those big low attacks that we just don't want to deal with. It's a 0/6 with a 0 low block. That's only ability is after you play this card as a block, you lose 1 vitality. So it's easy to build on our turn 1 to make sure we have a cool build turn, as well as just having it in our hand to make sure we don't just get hit in the face by a Missile Launcher, get hit multiple times by Dark Cherry Toe, take that 8 damage from a Nutcracker. It's good protection on lows. Thanks again for checking out the profile, guys. If you want to support us, go to patreon.com/TCGU University. If you want to show Michael some love down below for his Lord Raptor deck, I'm sure he would greatly appreciate it. Check us out on Facebook. Check out the other YouTube videos. Like, comment, share, subscribe, as always, guys. And stay learned.